Hi, my name is Alex. Welcome to class. Today we're going to go through a nice mellow flow together that can be really good for doing first thing in the morning if you're craving something a little bit slower, or something towards the end of the day just before winding down. It's also good for that. So we're going to be opening up through the whole body and taking a bit of time to just center inwards and have that time for ourselves. Let's get to it. So whenever you're ready, coming into child's pose to start off, bring your big toes together, knees come wide, and drop the hips down, head comes down towards the mat. Take a few breaths here to land, arrive on the mat. Feeling the hips sink deeper as they start to open up. Maybe you can feel a little bit of tightness, especially if this is the first time you're moving your body today. And see if you can drive the breath down into the belly. Filling the belly on the inhale and feeling yourself sinking further down towards the mat on every exhale. Close your eyes here. Forgetting everything that you had on before, anything that was on your mind. And just letting go of anything that you've got coming up after this, taking this time for yourself. Just setting that intention to be fully present for this practice. And as much as possible, I encourage you to try and bring as much attention to the breath throughout the flow. Just becoming aware of it. And if you'd like, you can bring an ocean sound to your breath now. So ujjayi breathing, just like a slight whisper, slight constriction at the back of the throat. You can try it out as if you were going to fog up a mirror with your breath. Nice. Take one more breath here. Nice big breath, filling the whole body, the whole rib cage. And then inhale, look up in between the hands, and we'll walk the hands over to the right. You can bring the left hand on top of the right, or just leave it next to the right hand. Drop the head down towards the mat again. Inhale, breathe into the side body here, into the left side body. One more breath here. Inhale deeply, expanding the rib cage, the whole lung area. Exhale, look up. Bring the hands back to center and we'll take it onto the other side. Over to the left this side. Stretching long. Exhale, bring the head down towards the mat. Feeling that nice opening. Seeing if you can direct the breath to that side of the body as you melt the hips down towards the mat. So final breath here. Deep inhale. And exhale here. And the next inhale, bring the hands back to center. We'll come up onto all fours. Bring the knees underneath the hips and the shoulders underneath, the hands underneath the shoulders. And we'll come into a cat-cow to start off. Dropping the belly down. Inhale, gaze up, look up. Exhale, round here. Take a couple more. Inhale, drop the belly. Opening up through the chest, gazing up. Exhale, round through the back. Belly button comes up towards the spine. Taking them in your own time, take as many as feels good to you. Syncing up with the breath. Bringing it back to neutral. And now just gazing over the left shoulder, gazing over, just bumping the hips over to the right and taking it on the other side. Gaze over the right shoulder. A couple of times here. Just opening up through the side body. Maybe make some circles with the hips. Feel into it. Find what feels good for you. Nice work. And then bringing it back to center again. Bring the right hand to the center of the mat. Left hand's going to come all the way up to the sky. Open up through the fingers. And we're coming into thread the needle. So exhale. Bring the left hand underneath in that little hole. Bring it down to the mat. The left ear comes to the mat. We're getting a nice opening here in the twisting motion in the spine, in that mid-upper spine area. You can leave your right hand here, or you can bring it up alongside the ear, flat along the mat. If you want to take it further here, you can start to extend your right leg, or just staying as you are, taking a final breath here, wherever you are. Inhaling here. Exhale. Bring the right hand back where it was. Left hand comes up to the sky. Wiggle out the fingers. Exhale. Bring it back. And we'll take it on the other side. So left hand comes to the center. Right hand comes all the way up, opening up through the chest here. Exhale. Thread the arm underneath the other, coming into this thread the needle pose. Again, staying here. We're starting to lengthen out through the left hand, left arm. And if you feel like it, lifting the back knee up, the left knee up, and extending that leg out. Take this wherever you want. Inhale, coming back up to center. Left hand comes up to the sky, right hand comes up to the sky, sorry. Wiggle out the fingers and bring it back to all fours. From here, we're going to walk the hands out and walk the knees slightly back to finding the right distance away for you as we drop the chest down into puppy pose. So the chin can come down towards the chest, or you can drop your forehead down, or maybe your forehead doesn't even reach. That's fine, but we're just opening up through the shoulders here. And getting a nice opening through the front of the body. Great work. Final breath here. Exhale. And inhale. We're going to start to come forward onto the elbows as we drop the hips down to the mat, coming into Sphinx pose. So our elbows are directly underneath the shoulders or a little bit in front. Hips are down on the mat. Inhale if you want. You can start to extend through the arms or just staying like this. Should feel a little bit of an opening here in the mid to lower back. And we'll gaze over the left shoulder. And gaze over the right shoulder. Bring it back to center again. We're going to drop down. Bring the head down to the mat as the hands come just underneath the armpits. Tuck the toes here. And if we can, we're going to press up to plank. Or you can come onto your knees first. And press up, and we'll meet in plank pose. Hold here for a moment. Rocking slightly forward and back, just waking up the core. And then exhale. Bring the hips up and back into our first downward dog. Find your positioning on the mat. Feet are hips distance wide, hands are hips, shoulder widths wide. Relaxing the shoulders, maybe shake the head from side to side. We're not going to stay here for too long, but just walk out your dog for this first downward dog. So bending one knee and then the other. And inhale, we'll start to walk the feet to the top of the mat, meeting at the top with our feet hips distance wide. You can bend the knees a bit here and drop the head down towards the mat. Grab a hold of opposite elbows, and we're coming into ragdoll pose. So swaying from side to side. Should feel really nice on your whole back. And that whole back line that goes all the way from the heels to the neck. Let the head go. Notice if you're holding on to any tension, if there's any tension or any clenching here. And then bring the hands down towards the mat. And we're going to roll it all the way up, one vertebrae at a time, to the top of the mat. When you get here, roll the shoulders all the way up to the ears and down again. We'll take that 2 more times. Inhale up and back and down. Shoulders come up, back and down. Nice work. We'll interlace the hands behind the back. Bring the shoulders back and down the spine. Inhaling, gaze up. Exhale, start to hinge forward from the hips, keeping a slight bend in the knees if that feels good. And bringing the hands up as much as we can and as far forward as we can towards the front of the mat. Trying not to lock out too much in the elbows here. And if you want, you can rock from side to side here. Just tick-tock a little bit from side to side, bending one knee and then the other. It's always nice to warm up through the shoulders. Exhale, release the hands, coming back down into a forward fold, just for a moment, and then inhale, we're coming up into a flat back. Hands come to the shins, or the thighs, or the floor, your choice, and exhale, we melt back down again. Inhale from here, we're going to hinge at the hips and come all the way to the top of the mat. Hands come above the head. We're rising tall. Exhale, palms come together to the chest and we meet together in stillness. Close down your eyes here for a moment. Take a breath. Notice how grounded you feel here. Just feeling the points of contact with the mat. Nice. And then we'll open their eyes again. Inhale, hands come up. Above the head. Exhale, folding forward here. Inhale, coming into a flat back. Exhale, bring the right leg back. So right foot comes to the back of the mat. And we're going to drop the right knee down. So we're coming into a low lunge here. Inhale, hands come up above the head. Palms are facing each other. Opening up here. Creating as much length as you can through the side body. Growing tall. And then exhale from here, we're going to bring the right hand forward, left hand comes back, coming into a twist. Gazing back if you can. It's a bit of a balancing pose here as well. Inhale, hands come back up. Exhale, bring the hands back down to the mat, and we're going to bring the hips back as we lift the toes up to the sky on the left foot. Getting a nice opening stretch here in the back of the left hamstring. Hips come down as much as possible. Inhale, create length in the spine. Exhale, melt the head down towards the knee. Inhale, look up. Roll back onto the sole of the foot. Plant the right hand down onto the mat. Left hand comes up, and here you can lift up the back knee if you'd like as well, for just an easy twist, or just leave the knee down, your choice. Exhale, bring the left hand back down, lifting off the back knee, and then we'll bring the left foot to the back to meet the right, meeting in plank pose, holding for a moment, and then from here shift forward. Start to bend at the elbows, and as slowly as you can, or however way you want, you can drop your knees if you want. We're going to come down and meet flat down on the mat. Forehead comes down. Arms are just by the sides of the chest. Inhale, rising up into cobra. Exhale, bring the head back down. Tuck the toes, press back up into plank, and exhale, downward dog. Inhale here in downward dog, and exhale, open the mouth, sigh everything out. One more time, inhale. Open the mouth, sigh it out. Great work. Inhale, look up between the hands. Start to walk the feet to the top of the mat. Coming into a flat back again. Exhale, fold here. Inhale, hands come up. Rise up again, growing tall. Hands are above the head. Exhale, hands come down to meet at heart center in prayer position. I'm going to take that again on the other side. Inhale, hands come above the head. Growing tall. Exhale, coming down all the way down into a forward fold. Inhale, coming into a flat back. Exhale, plant the hands and bring the left foot all the way to the back of the mat this time. Drop the knee down to the mat. So we're framing our front foot with our hands, and inhale, bring the hands up above the head as you sink down as much as feels good to you here in the hips. Just getting a nice opening in both the back hip here, or the hip flexors on the left, but also a little bit on the right side. Inhale, grow tall, look up in between the hands. And exhale, bring the hands back down again. Well, in fact, we'll do the twist on the other side, I almost forgot. So inhale, hands come up. Exhale, open up here to the side. So left hand comes forward, right hand comes back. Gaze towards the back of the mat. Nice. Inhale, hands come back up again and bring them back down as you start to bring the hips back, rolling onto the heel of the right foot. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, start to round here as we start to open up through the hamstring on the right this time. Nice long breaths here, directing the breath to that hamstring area. And then inhale, looking up, rolling onto the sole of the right foot, plant the left hand down, and we're coming into the easy twist again. So right hand comes all the way up to the sky, and you have a choice here to lift up the back knee, the left knee if you want, staying here, or just staying on the knee. Exhale, bring the right hand to frame the right foot again, and again we're going to bring the right foot to meet the left at the back of the mat, meeting in plank pose, just holding here for a couple of breaths, strong in your plank, and then shift forward. Again, you can drop your knees if you'd like as we come all the way down to the mat. Forehead comes down to the mat, and then taking a breath here, inhaling, rising up into cobra. Exhale, head comes back down to the mat. Tuck the toes, press back up into plank, however you want to get there, and then we're meeting in downward dog. Really good work. Should feel nice and open already. We'll take 2 more breaths in downward dog. And then we'll bring the knees down, big toes together, coming into child's pose just for a moment. So just how we started here, noticing if you feel any difference in the body at this point. Just taking a moment to catch our breaths if we need. Just recentering. And then inhaling, looking up in between the hands, coming back onto all fours, tuck the toes, meeting back into downward facing dog. And then from here, we're just going to walk the feet up and come into a seated position. So however you feel, come into a seated position. And from here, we're going to come into Janu Shirshasana, so head to knee pose. Bring the sole of the right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Left leg is long, toes point up to the sky. Inhale, hands come above the head. Exhale, come forward as much as you can. And start to bring the head down. Just seeing if you can bring the belly towards the thigh instead of thinking too much about the head to the knee. And maybe you can feel this more in the left hamstring or in the kind of the side hip area on the right. I can feel it there more often, actually. Take a couple breaths here. And then inhaling, looking up again at the foot. Hands come above the head. And from here, we're going to bring the left hand behind us. And we're going to bring the sole of the right foot down to the mat and lift up the hips. So the hips come all the way up here. And the right hand comes back. Exhale, bring the hips back down. And we'll take it on the other side. Should feel like a nice opening. So sole of the left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Hands come above the head. Growing tall, grow long. Exhale, come forward. Grab a hold of wherever you can. I'm reaching for my foot, but if your hands just want to rest on the mat here, that's all good. Accepting where you are today. It's part of the practice as well. Just really being okay with where you are and being grateful for your body and what it can do for you today. Not every day is the same. But instead of focusing on what we can't do, let's just shift that and see if we can focus on what we can do. Final breath here. Inhale. Look up. Again, bring the right hand behind us this time. And coming onto the sole of the left foot. Getting ready here to lift the hips up. As we bring the left hand back behind us. Should feel really nice to get a full body opening. Nice. Meeting here, we'll bring the soles of the feet together. Grab a hold of the outsides of the feet. Coming into butterfly pose. You might already be able to feel this in the hips slightly, and if you want to prop up here with a block, then please feel free. Inhale, growing tall. Exhale, starting to roll forward. Just feeling a nice opening in the inner thighs. And just letting the head melt down. Dripping it down here. Relaxing any tension maybe in the shoulders or anywhere that you don't really need to be clenching right now. Remembering that ocean sound breath if you can. Final breath here. Inhale together. Exhale everything out. Inhale, start to look up again. Hands come behind us, coming onto the soles of the feet. Just windshield wiper the legs from one side to the other. Should feel good. And then from here, bring the hands out in front of us. Start to roll down. So the spine's coming down to the mat. Awesome. Just using our core to help us get there. When you get to the mat, hug your knees into the chest. Give yourself a rock from side to side. And we'll bring the feet back down to the mat. Just scooch the hips over to the right a little bit. Hands come out to a T, and we're coming into a twist. So drop the knees over to the left-hand side as you gaze over the right shoulder. Starting to wind down now. Enjoying the slow pace. Breathing into the belly area. Nice full breaths. Inhale, bring the knees back up to center. We'll bump the hips over to the left this time. As the knees come over to the right. Gaze over the left shoulder. You can close your eyes here if you want. Couple of breaths here. Enjoying this twisting motion. It's really good for the spine. Inhale, bring the knees back up, soles of the feet down on the mat, and we'll hug the knees into the chest again, rocking from side to side. And from here, we're going to come into happy baby. So grab a hold of the outsides of the feet, and the hands come to the inside, the elbows come to the insides of the knees. So soles of the feet going up to the sky. And we're pulling down slightly here, bringing the knees towards the armpits. And if this feels like a little bit too much or it's a bit too intense, just grab a hold, clasp the hands behind the knees, and you can just rock from side to side. I feel like you get a similar experience, to be honest. So yeah, in your happy baby, wherever you are, just rocking from side to side, if that feels nice. Maybe straightening out through one leg and the other. And then bringing the soles of the feet back down. We're going to come into Shavasana. So our resting pose, coming to the end of the session. So let the feet come to the top corners of the mat, and let the feet just splay open. Hands are alongside, arms are alongside the body, palms facing up. Close your eyes. Letting go of the ocean sound in your breath, just return to a regular breathing. Now just noticing if you can drive relaxation throughout the whole body. Just softening through every single muscle that's been working for us today. From the feet all the way up the legs, the hips, the belly, the chest, the back, the shoulders, the arms, the neck, and then the whole scalp. Seeing if you can unfurrow the brow a little bit and soften through all the facial muscles. And thank yourself for showing up today, taking this time to move your body, to be with yourself, and take that moment for you. Just a bit of gratitude for yourself, maybe for your day ahead. And when you're ready, bring some awareness back into the fingers and the toes. And you're welcome to stay in Shavasana for as long as you want. But if not, you can join me. Nice. Taking a full body stretch. Hands come above the head. Feet come together. And we stretch out the whole body. Nice. Rolling onto the one side of the mat. Your choice. Taking a moment here before we meet it all the way back up into a seated position, comfortable seated position, wherever feels right for you. Hands rest on the knees or in the lap. Keep the eyes closed for just a couple of moments. Feeling that line of energy from the base of the spine all the way to the crown of the head and beyond. And take the deepest breath we've taken all day. Deep inhale here. And when you get to the top, hold for a moment and sigh it out. Nice work. Bring the hands to heart center in prayer position. Drop the chin towards the chest. Bat the eyelids open. Give yourself a big thank you. A big pat on the back. Thank you so much for practicing with me, and I will see you again soon. Namaste.